Miami Dolphins host the Tennessee Titans this Monday on Monday Night Football, and to beat them on the field to improve the 500 through 4 weeks, we need to beat the Titans Today channel on our sub battle. We got a nice 14 subscriber lead right now, but we got to keep our foot on the gas pedal. Hit that sub button for daily Dolphins content. We're also live for every single game. Let's beat the Tennessee Titans. This is the Dolphins Today by Chat Sports channel. I am Nic Rohloff, and we are talking about some Dolphins QB rumors on today's episode because, well, we still, at least to this point, have no clue who's going to start on Monday against Tennessee, and we do also have an update on potentially trading for a quarterback, not trading for a QB, but also an update on Tua Tagovailoa. We'll start with what Jeremy Fowler said on the Dolphins potentially trading for a quarterback. Or not really. He said, while the Dolphins make plans at quarterback for at least the next 3 weeks without Tua, a trade for a passer doesn't seem likely at this point. A source said Miami is not much into it at this time. Which is important that we talk about this because on Tuesday, when Mike McDaniel spoke to Miami Dolphins media, he talked about him and Chris Grier potentially looking into adding another quarterback to this 53-man roster with Skylar Thompson banged up, Tim Boyle just being signed from the practice squad to the 53-man before week 3 against Seattle. And if they are not looking to go trade for a quarterback, that means if they did think about adding someone to this roster at the quarterback position, it would be via free agency or stealing another player from a practice squad. And these are the top 5 guys, in my opinion, which aren't that great. Ryan Tannehill is the top one, but I doubt that he would be someone Miami gets because Tannehill wants to be a starter for the rest of the season, and he's just not going to get that in Miami. They have been linked to C.J. Beathard in the past. He is a free agent right now. And then 3 practice squad guys. Desmond Ridder started last season for the Falcons for a little bit. Bailey Zappi has started games in the past for New England. Jaron Hall is on the Seattle practice squad, but started some games for Minnesota last year when Kirk Cousins went down before Josh Dobbs went into the game for them. There's not a lot of great options when you look at it of potentially adding a quarterback to this roster. Now, I will say this. I would seriously take all 5 of those guys likely over Tim Boyle. And based off what we've seen from Skylar Thompson, I would probably take these 5 guys over him as well. There just simply has not been adequate enough quarterback play behind Tua Tagovailoa, which is a different conversation to have for a different day because Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel have absolutely botched the backup quarterback situation behind Tua over the past couple seasons. But predict it for me. Will the Dolphins sign another quarterback? It's not what you think should happen, but what will happen. Type Y for yes or type N for no. You might get hit with a YouTube ad break. If you do, let it play, scroll down, and answer today's pinned comment. Let's talk about Tagovailoa now because there might be a return for Tua. And the Dolphins believe he will be back sooner rather than later for this 2024 team, which is, well, music to our ears because no matter what you think about Tua, when he's healthy, he is a much better option at quarterback than some of these other guys on the roster. Fowler said, keep in mind, all signs are that Tagovailoa wants to play again this season, and he's eligible to return as early as week 8 against the Arizona Cardinals, that is. Making a flashy move for a quarterback potentially disrupting the loose timeline and plans of Tagovailoa and the team comes with a risk. And that's kind of what I mentioned on a video yesterday about adding a quarterback via trade. That if Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel wanted to do that, they should have done that last week before the game against Seattle. Because if they did it now, that means that, 1, they wouldn't be able to play Monday. They'd barely be ready for the game against the Patriots in week 5, and then you have a bye. And then coming out of the bye against the Colts in week 7, and then Tua is able to potentially return in week 8. So you're really only getting 2 weeks at best of this quarterback that you traded for. If you wanted to add someone in the trade market, you would have had to do it before the week last week because now they don't really have enough time to learn, and trading a quarterback for 2 games really isn't worth it. We got a new sponsor here at Dolphins Today, and I could not be more excited. That is Public Rec. Let's be real, guys. Wearing pants sucks. Who decided that stiff, uncomfortable fabric digging into your family jewels was necessary to go out and look put together? Well, I'm here to tell you that those days are finally over. Public Rec has developed the revolutionary Daymaker pant that feels as comfortable as sweats but look and fit like tailored pants. You can finally have indoor comfort with outdoor style by wearing Public Rec's Daymaker pants. For a limited time only, our listeners get 20% off their entire order when you use code CHAT at publicrec.com. That's 20% off your order at publicrec.com with promo code CHAT. And the beautiful thing about Public Rec as well is that they make more than just those sweet pants. They make awesome t-shirts, hoodies, polos as well. I got a nice little long sleeve tee on right now. It's comfortable. It's that perfect mix of nice, feeling comfortable, but also looking nice, where I can wear this out to a nice little dinner with friends, family, the whole 9 yards. And I tell you what, those pants, they're not messing around either. They are absolutely fantastic. Stop the suffering in regular pants. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 20% off with code CHAT at publicrec.com. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight, because when comfort meets style, you found Public Rec. Appreciate them for sponsoring today's show. Find that link in the description and comments of today's video. I do expect, as we get back to the conversation on Tagovailoa, for him to return in Week 8 against the Cardinals. There has been too much smoke about him returning closer to that date, with Barry Jackson saying that he has been in the locker room. He traveled to Seattle, was on the sideline for Week 3. Like, all of these things just kind of point to Tua being ready for the Week 8 game against the Cardinals that he can potentially return for. Now, maybe he isn't, and maybe when he meets with neurologists this week, they create a different plan for his return. But at least right now, with all the facts that we have and everything we've seen from the team and Tua, I feel as if he will be back as soon as possible against the Arizona Cardinals. So you have to manage the next 3 games against Tennessee, New England, and the Colts. And lucky for you, well, the Dolphins are playing as a bottom 5 team in football right now, but they are either the first, or the worst, I should say, or the second worst team in football. The Patriots are bottom 5. The Colts are bottom 5. So you have 3 games that without Tua left, at minimum, and they're all against bottom 5 teams. You have to go 2-1 at worst if you want to keep the season alive, but realistically, 3-0 should be on the table because you have the better roster if you just take the quarterback position away from it with these next 3 games. You need to take advantage of the easy schedule ahead of you, which is why I believe it needs to be Tyler Huntley starting. And if you watched the video we put out earlier today, I did a full 11-minute breakdown on why Huntley should be the starter for the Fins the next 3 weeks over Skylar Thompson. I don't think there's a world where Skylar should be the starting quarterback for Miami again, honestly, in his entire NFL career, because we've seen enough to say he should not be starting. But Dan Graziano had some thoughts on the matter and reported that his sense of the Miami Dolphins quarterback station, while Tua remains out indefinitely, that it's possible they start Tyler Huntley on Monday night. But that likely depends on Skylar Thompson's health. So he's saying if Skylar, who's dealing with a chest injury, is labeled as day-to-day, cannot go and is out, they will likely go with Tyler Huntley. But I'm kind of confused by that. It should not matter if Skylar Thompson is healthy. Like I said, he's been horrible in when he's been on the football field. If you're going to lose football games, sure, we can put Skylar Thompson out there. But all for my guys and girls in the comment section that want to tank. Why are we tanking? This roster is win now in terms of the way it's structured with its veterans, with this pace structure, and they need to go out there and be competitive. So to me, there is no reason to try to lose. There's still a lot of season left with some winnable games ahead. Tua's coming back potentially in 3 games. You have Bradley Chubb returning soon, Odell Beckham Jr. returning soon, Cam Smith returning soon. This team, there is a lot of opportunity to still make the postseason, and it should not matter if Skylar Thompson is healthy or not. Tyler Huntley gives you the best chance to win football games, gives you a more dynamic running attack, and it gives you a better chance to win. Career 3-6 record as a starter. Skylar Thompson 1-3. Tim Boyle 0-5. Please go with Tyler Huntley. But who should start in your opinion? Are you with me on Tyler Huntley? Type TH if you are down in the comment section. Type ST if you're on Skylar Thompson. And just to really round out today's episode with one last point, I've seen enough with Skylar Thompson. His stats in 2024, I know it's only been 4.5 quarters for Miami, coming in the late game of the Bills and then playing only 3 quarters against the Seahawks, but he's been terrible. A 5.1 QBR. Are we serious? It's graded out of 1 to 100, by the way. You know how impossible it is to have a 5.1 QBR? I'm telling you. And in this, you might think this is a joke. You might laugh. But I could go out there and I think legitimately give you the same type of QBR rating from ESPN. It would be not that hard to just throw screen passes, pop passes, and 10-yard fade routes. I'm telling you, it wouldn't be hard to put up a 5.1. Skylar Thompson has been horrible, and so has Tim Boyle in the one quarter we saw from him. Please at least bring something from the exterior into this quarterback room. Give me Tyler Huntley, or honestly, it's going to be a snooze fest on Monday night against the Titans. They might win with Skylar Thompson just because the Titans are absolutely horrible, and Will Levis is probably the worst starting quarterback out there. But, man, I don't want to watch that, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to either. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Like I said, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are going to be doing shows every single day, live for every game, and I want to beat the Titans in our Week 4 sub battle. So hit that sub button. Join us for that Monday Night Football game coming up.